So, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope that you are full of energy because now we are going to have a session about business development, and also I will tell you about our company, AddLife, the company that I represent so proudly. And I have been also asked to show our perspective on how business development is working in our company. How do we proceed to have a good business development in a company? So, actually, the first essential thing is, of course, to start with the why. You need to have a sustainable business model. You need to have, of course, your financial targets. You will need to have your clear vision, and you will also need to have a good strategy. And of course, when you are coming to the product segments, you will have to have good business plans. But then, obviously, you need to have a very clear and focused leadership as well. And a leadership that is able to have a good differentiation for the whole company. The culture in the company is extremely important because that's on the walls. So you have to develop, and you have to be able to perceive also the values that you have in your company. And of course, also be an attractive partner for your suppliers and customers, and also for the employer. And the third thing is commitment. And commitment is probably the most important thing, because even if you have the best idea in the world, and you do not have the proper commitment or the proper passion to do the business, then you will not be able to achieve anything. So that's a prerequisite. AddLife has a very long legacy. So even if the company was introduced into the stock exchange in March 2016, but the roots are actually 110 years. It's coming from Bergman and Beving. And Bergman and Beving is a very proud Swedish company that started in 1906 with two gentlemen, and they were before their time because they were entrepreneurial persons. And they were thinking on how to do the added value. Probably at that time it was called something else, but they had many ideas how to build something around the product that will contribute to a very good business model and a sustainable business. So the company developed extremely well, and during '76, the company was introduced in the stock exchange. In 2001, the company had already 10 billion in turnover, and the company was split into AdTech, BV Tools, and Lagercrantz. And from AdTech, in 2016, in March, we became our own company on the Nasdaq. So AddLife is a Nordic company. 96% of the business that we have in AddLife is in the Nordics. 4% is outside, is export outside the Nordics. The company has around 500 employees, 200 million euros in turnover. We have 26 subsidiaries, so 26 daughters, 26 companies in AddLife. And we have two divisions, LabTech and MedTech. We have even production sites in outside Gothenburg. We have it in Italy, in Denmark, and in Finland. And we have even a small production site for catheters in Japan. Of course, we have a very clear vision, and our vision is, I will say, it represents very much what we stand for, because we strive really to improve people's life by being a leading player within LabTech and MedTech. We have our financial targets, so we have a target that we will grow by at least 15% over a financial life cycle. So actually we are growing with more. We are growing by 18% per year. And of course, the profitability is very important. So we have a 10% EBITDA or 10% ROS. And we have had around 10% since 2001. The market that we address is quite big in the Nordics, so it's around 49 billion. And this is the split by countries. So obviously, due to the number of inhabitants, Sweden is still the biggest one. Denmark is quite big if you think per capita because of the pharma industry, of course. Then Norway and Finland. But the organic growth is around 4%. And actually, if we look at AddLife, we have been growing by 18%. And we have also an organic growth about 6 to 7%. So this is very good because we are really growing double as much as the market is doing. And we have a very good acceleration. So the 18% minus the organic growth, which is around 11%, is coming from acquisitions. So we are growing by acquisitions and organically. I wanted to speak a little bit about the macro trends and also the business trends in the market. So the macro trends are very important to know about it. The population of the Nordics is increasing by around 1 million every 5 years. So we have today 26 million people in our region. We are quite small to be split by Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and so on. So very often we speak about the region, the Nordics, and this is also the way that our suppliers are looking at us and also distributors. 26 million people is comparable also to the Benelux area of 27 million. So I think we have a very good strength also being in a region with 26 million. We have an aging population, and this will also create a lot of needs, of course, obviously. And also the expenditures of healthcare is also increasing. Today is 10.4%, but we think that in the future it will be around 11%. In the US, it's around 13.4% of the GDP. The competition is, of course, increasing because the goal of the healthcare, as you know, is to have it cheaper, to have it faster, and to have a more efficient healthcare. And then we have a lot of competition also getting into, let's say, niches that we had today and becoming commodities. The changing of purchase behavior, I will come back to that, how it is changing. What is a little bit paradoxical is that in the rest of Europe it's decentralizing, and in Sweden it's centralizing, so it's a little bit strange, but we'll speak about it. And then if we look to the business enabling trends in the market, so we have identified, of course, due to the digitalization, which is a buzzword, I will get back to it, and how this is influencing and how this will influence also our market, because we are in a kind of paradigm shift today. New opportunities, new solutions like e-health, etc. So I will try also to define what do we mean with e-health, because e-health can be a lot of other things. And also the increase of having more rapid diagnostics. So the diagnostic is very important, because if you get a very rapid diagnosis, then you are able to treat the patient as soon as possible, which decreases, of course, the antibiotic resistance and so on and so on. We have, in order to exemplify how we are working in AddLife, we use the ecosystem, what we call our ecosystem, because primarily we are working in the research and development, so we are working with enzymes, proteins, monoclonal antibodies, etc. And then we are also working with diagnostic tests in the laboratories. So we have instruments, we have tests for sepsis or virology tests, etc., immunology tests. And then we also have our medtech area, which is 40% of our turnover, which is in the healthcare, so it's closer to the patient. And of course, the patient is in the middle of this. So we are working actually in the three areas. So we have chosen strategically to work within these three areas. We also have a small business beside, which is the industrial part. And we are, for example, producing dilution cups for quality control of food. So for Salmonella, Listeria, and other pathogens. And also we are developing and delivering also systems to the, for example, the petrochemical industry. If we look to the split of the company, because we are really focused on knowledge, so if we look to the what we call product specialists in our company, they are primary they have some kind of biomedicine education or background. And in the medtech area, we have a lot of nurses. So, and also we have service engineers, and they are technicians with medical experience. We are very proud also, because this is also for the investors, that we have a very good split for women and men, and also when it comes to age. But really knowledge is very important. So out of our 500 employees that we have around 300 product specialists. So in order to also be a successful company, as we have proven to be, it's very important also to have a dedicated training for our own people. So we have our own business school. So we have different modules for salespeople, and also we have different models for leaders in AdTech. So we are quite unique having this kind of model. And this is also very important, because we have 26 decentralized subsidiaries. And this is also a way to keep everything together. Of course, if we look to the overall strategies, I mean, we are going to have market-leading positions, and we have market-leading positions in the niches where we are working on. But it's also very important, and it's also very key, that all our leaders are operational, which means that we have to listen to the market, we have to be out, we have to meet the customers, and we have to understand the market needs. And of course, we are also growing by acquisitions, quite a lot. We are acquiring companies for around 300–400 million Swedish kronor per year. So what is unique with our model, actually, or let's say the essential of our success, is that we have the advantages of being the small company when it comes to culture, when it comes to personality. And we have also the advantages of being the big company with network, financial muscles, etc. So by combining this, we have a very good match. We are very keen of not destroying the culture in a company, because when we are acquiring a company, we are not acquiring a company because they have good products. We are acquiring the company because they have good people that being able to develop the good products. So this is very essential. So we never put our flag AddLife when we have acquired a company. We are very keen of and respecting also the culture that the company has been able to develop and what they stand for. So this is, I think, the essential in our business model. And of course, this is a picture that I steal once upon a time from Boston Consulting Group. I think the lady was working there. But this picture is also very good to understand. When you set up your vision, when you set up your strategy, you have to start understanding the market needs. You need to be really very good in knowing your market. And when you know your market, you have your financial, of course, your financial objectives that they are given, because we are in the stock exchange, so we have given financial objectives, obviously. And then you have to see if you have good internal processes to be able to address this and to be able to achieve this. And the most important is to see, do I have the right competencies in the company to be able to meet the customer's objectives or the market objectives and to reach the financial objectives? And then you can set up your vision strategy. Why I took this picture with me? Because I know that there are a number of new companies and startups, and this is very essential. This is very important to take it in mind. Otherwise, you will, I will not say that will not succeed, but most probably you will not succeed. Very often in organizations, it looks like this. Here I have 7 Indian blinded guys trying to understand what they are holding on. But nobody sees the elephant or feel the elephant, of course, because they are feeling different things. And this is what happened in the organizations. You're working in silos and you don't see the overview. You don't get the overview. You don't get the whole picture. So this is also very important. Information, communication in the company has to be for everybody. Everybody needs to understand. And everybody needs also to contribute to the best for the development of the company. So this is something that actually happened in many, many companies. And also this way, because if this represents your company will not be or become so strong if you are just focusing on the strengths of each of the individuals working in the company. In order to have a much stronger, let's say, nucleus outside, then you need to work more like that. This seems to be obvious, but this is not the way it's working today. So I think those things may help you a little bit to reflect about it. This is a good metaphor and represents quite a lot how we are working, because we have 26 subsidiaries, 26 boats. We have sailing boats, we have engine boats, we have bigger, and we have small boats. And we have a captain in each of the boats. But it's okay to be small or big. But then we have to go into the same direction anyway. This is the important thing. This is the essential. And I said it before, but the essence of leadership is really this. It's all about passion. Without passion, you cannot achieve anything. You have to know why you are going to work every morning. And you have to know what you are doing. And this has to be perceived by everyone in your organization. Because it starts with the leader, also walk the talk, etc. So this is very, very essential and very important. Okay. The other part of the presentation, I was asked to give a little bit of the trends in the market. So I will start with that. And before I get there, just for curiosity, how many of you think that Facebook or Google will be replaced by something else, let's say within 5 years? Yeah, that's good. Many realistic people. Because this is actually what's going to happen. But we are sometimes so naive and think, come on, Facebook is so big. We have 1.4 billion users in the world. How come that it's going to fall? It's impossible to think. But at the same time, the history has showed this all the time. The big companies, they became like dinosaurs organizations. They get a big body, small brain. And then that's what happened. They fall. So this is what happened. And also new things are coming all the time. So it's important to be proactive and to try to also be in the front line all the time. We have seen hundreds of examples, Nokia, Ericsson, etc., etc. This is it. This is the way. So that's why you have to know where are we here in the life cycle for the company and also for your products. Where are we? Are we still in the growing phase? Do we have dogs in the company? Do we have stars? Do we have new, wild cards coming into the company? So this is very important to understand, and not being fat and happy and lying down on your chair and thinking that, nothing will happen. I'm so big, so nothing's going to happen. But this is it. Proactivity. This is very important. I don't know if you can see, but what I try to show here is a perspective from the 1700th century when a patient goes to the doctor or the doctor is coming home to the patient. And here you have, this actually is from yesterday, from September 2016. And can you believe that the experience of the patient is exactly the same? Nothing has changed. Only the instruments have changed a little bit. But the experience is exactly the same, which is very lousy. Don't you agree? Yes, it is very lousy because nothing has changed. So the difference is going to be actually that from a reactive sick care to a more proactive healthcare, this is what's going to happen. And we have the tools also to this to happen. I will just, I have only 2 slides. So those are some examples of things that are actually happen today. So we have the Internet of Things. We have a lot of wearables that everything will be connected. We have these apps that you don't need to meet a doctor. You just are connected through your iPad. And also you have some devices to to measure your body, and you don't need to go to the emergency department. Genomics, of course, is revolutioning. The price of the genome is decreasing, etc. Faster turnaround times. We have 24/7 services. Big data. We are connecting all our systems to big data, and this is very good. Like, for example, the pharmacies. It will be very good if we could connect the point of care with the central laboratories, etc. Home care is development, and also the bio-nano development, the genomics, the personalized medicine, etc. And of course, hospitals, they need to change the way they are working, and something that it's called Uber medicine, so that you use doctors also when they have some free time, so you can use the healthcare in a better way. I have a link here, of course, just to see how this is evolving from the US. We don't have the time to see it, but it's a very short movie. If you get the time, I can give you the name of the link. So the last slide. As a summary, and the goal of the healthcare, of course, as I said before, is we want to have a better, a faster, and also cheaper. But it's a very difficult equation, because you can pick two, but not three. But of course, then it gives a lot of possibilities also for all of us working in this area. And this is a good question to ask yourself: how are we going to handle these challenges and these opportunities in the future? As I said again, be proactive, have a clear vision and mission, and of course you have to have a very good strategy to be able to do that. So thank you very much.
So, Artur, what wasn't clear to me was, so if I want to become a dingy in your fleet of ships, do I have to have an EBITDA of 10%, or are you a buyout company that invests in companies that already are successful?
No. Actually, the thing is that we can provide the company with the toolbox, and if we believe in the business model of the company, it doesn't matter if it's a 5% EBITDA.
No, but can it be a company that yet don't have sales?
Absolutely. It can be a company that doesn't have sales, which is in a very strategic area. For example, the e-health or digitalization. And it can also be a company with maybe some products that are complementary to the products we have.
Interesting. So I did disagree with one of your slides very much, because what you said is that if you work in a big company, you don't see the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I think we see the elephant, but we don't know what to do with it.
Well, not necessarily in a big company. It can be a small company that you are working still in silos, and not all the employees get the whole overview. This is the problem, especially of course in big companies.
But that is the elephant in the room in itself.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, that was a joke. It's getting late. Any questions to Artur? Yes, we have one up there.
Thank you very much. This is really interesting to see. I have a question about the forecast that Google might fail within 5 years or decay. I think Facebook is on that limit, but when we look at the list that you gave, the second last slide there was a list of all the new things that will happen. They're working on everything there except for home care.
Yeah.
So I'm invited to go there to give a talk about how to work with doctors now in October. So they are really active exactly on that list you give. So I think they still keep their brain active.
Sure. I mean, when I think about Google, I think on the search engine Google. Obviously, for their own survival, they have to be in different areas, as Apple is doing, for example. But what is surprising is that the Internet 2.0, the semantic Internet that understands the context, is not even there yet, and Google is not even working with that. So for sure, it will be newcomers with those ideas, because when you are searching the 5 biggest lakes in the world, you get 1.5 million matches. What you want to have is to get a list with the 5 biggest lakes in the world with volume and area. This is let's say, the modern Internet should be. Thank you.
Any other questions? Is it time? Yeah, I know you're picky. Artur, big thanks.
Thank you.
You will also get the school book.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.